Hey guys, this is Candle, and it's time for another gaming pickups video. So today is actually my birthday, and I may have gone a little bit overboard splurging on myself today. I always try to get myself something big every year. Well, this year I ended up getting myself a lot of something a little bit smaller. So, start things off, there's this really nice flea market about half an hour away from where I live, and I don't get out there often enough. So I went ahead and I stopped in this morning, and it wasn't quite as good of a turnout as I'd hoped, but I was still able to pick up a few things that I found kind of interesting. First up, I got Pocket Bike Racer. This is the last of the three Burger King games released at the start of the Xbox 360's lifespan. These play on both the Xbox 360 and original Xbox on the same disc, and this was the only one I was missing, so I'm definitely glad to have this in my collection, even though I'm probably never going to actually play it. I also picked up the Game of the Year edition of Sid Meier's Civilization 4. Now, I went to the flea market hoping to find some big box PC games, and I didn't find any of those, but I did find this. And again, I'm probably never actually going to play this because I have it on Steam. However, it does have the full manual in it and everything, as well as all the discs. And I'm definitely glad to add it into my collection because it'll go right on the shelf between Civilization 3 Complete and Civ 5. So definitely glad to have that. Then I also got the Star Wars, the Clone Wars, and Tetris Worlds combo pack. This actually says not for resale, limited edition package. I believe this was originally not available in stores. It was a pack-in bonus for original Xboxes for a while. But yeah, it's got both games covered in the manual here, both games on the same disc. So these are sold separately as well. So I might eventually get them separate on my collection as well, but I am glad to have both of these now as well. And then I also picked up Grand Theft Auto Vice City, and no, it didn't actually cost me $30. That was from a previous sale on this. It actually cost me like $9. Would it surprise you guys to know I have never actually played a Grand Theft Auto game before? I have GTA 5 on the Epic Game Store because they were giving it away for a while, but I've never actually played them before, so I've heard this is a good one to start out with, though, so I'm definitely interested in taking a look. Beyond that, I decided to stop in a couple thrift stores, and I didn't find much, but at one Goodwill, I did find Sherlock Holmes and The Secret of the Silver Earring. Now, this is in a plastic, or not plastic, it's in a cardboard box, and you would think, oh, there's a jewel case inside. Nope. It's actually, the game is sandwiched between two bits of cardboard in there. And I don't know if this is going to be any good. I don't know if it's an original story or if it's based on one of the original, one of the actual Sherlock Holmes books. But it was published by the Adventure Company. And those guys, well, they publish quite a bit of point-and-click adventures, and I'm always down for more of those. So I'm definitely interested in giving this a look. Oh, and I also forgot, at the flea market, I also picked up an NES Zapper. I haven't never had one of these, so I'm finally glad to have it in my collection. Now, these things do not work on modern TVs and monitors and so on, partially due to input latency and also partially because of different technologies and how the screens are actually drawn. And then there's a little filter in here as well that makes an LCD screen too dark. However, I do have a CRT in the closet, so I can try this out as well. And I also picked up a black DualShock 2, mostly because my black one that came with my Slimline PS2 died some time ago, and I ended up tossing it out rather than trying to fix it. So I've had just a green one for the longest time. I'm glad to have an original black color back as well. And this is indeed an official DualShock 2, not like a DualShock 1 or a third party or anything like that. Beyond that, I ended up stopping at a number of different stores, and I'm going to save these for last. So I ended up stopping at like GameStop, The Exchange, like a whole bunch of different places. I ended up finding my way all the way up in Akron for a bit, and tried to go to this game store I found there called Game Surge, but my map app was telling me it opened at 10. The sign on the door said it opened at 11. I got there at about a quarter to 11, so I went off and then came back. Well, I got back at a quarter after 11, and it was still locked, lights dark, no lights on, nobody there, anything. So I don't know what's going on, if they just took the day off because of the pandemic or whatever, but I'm definitely interested in going back there at some point to try check that place out. But beyond that, I did end up stopping at GameStop and The Exchange, and ended up getting quite a bit of stuff. I finally picked up Battlefield 5 on the Xbox One. and I've been wanting to play this for a while. I'm more of a campaign guy. I don't care much about the multiplayer. So I've been interested in trying out this campaign as well. Interestingly enough, Battlefield 5 is not the 5th game in the franchise. It's more like the 7th or 8th. It came hot on the heels of Battlefield 1, which was immediately following Battlefield 4. So the naming conventions are all over the place there. I also picked up Evil Within 2, which I've heard is pretty good. I still haven't finished Evil Within 1, and I don't know how well the stories tie into each other. This might be like a Final Fantasy situation where, oh, it's technically a sequel in name only and stuff like that, but we'll see. I also picked up Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice on the Xbox One. I've been wanting this on the Xbox for a good while. I keep seeing it on the PS4, but I've been wanting it on the Xbox mostly because the sequel is coming to the Series X and not the PS5. Partially because Ninja Theory is owned by Microsoft now. And I do have this on Steam, and I have the VR version. I ended up doing a Let's Play of this. Really, really good game. Definitely recommend playing with headphones. I also picked up We Happy Few. Been interested in trying this out. This was originally an indie game before it got picked up by Gearbox, so interested in that. And then I also got Mass Effect Andromeda. Now, say what you will about Mass Effect Andromeda, I still enjoyed it. I agree the writing's terrible, the animations were crap at launch, but I still enjoyed it. And I'm glad to have a physical copy where I actually have the disc now, because I got this on PC at launch, and it was literally just a code in a box. So I'm glad to have a physical copy. It was only $5, so definitely glad to add that to my collection. I also picked up Assassin's Creed Chronicles. Now, you guys know me. I'm a big Assassin's Creed fan. And I never picked this up when it first came out, mostly because it wasn't like a traditional Assassin's Creed experience. This is actually this is all like 2D platforming. And it's actually a trio of games that were originally download only before getting packaged up in this. So you have Assassin's Creed Chronicles India, China, and Russia. So taking place at different periods. I don't know if their individual stories tie into each other or not. I also don't really like that this, I don't know if you can see it that well on camera, but this is a little bit fuzzy there. But anyways, then I also picked up Final Fantasy XII, The Zodiac Age for the Switch. This game is $44.99 pre-owned at GameStop. Best Buy has it on sale right now for like, I don't remember if it was $35 or $40. I think it might be like $40. But either way, it's cheaper to get it brand new at Best Buy right now if you're looking for these. I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan, so I'm glad to add this to my collection. I think the only Final Fantasy games on the Switch I'm missing that have gotten physical releases so far are the 7 and 8 combo pack, which was exclusive to Asia. And I think World of Final Fantasy Maximum might have gotten a physical copy on the Switch. I'm not sure. Beyond that, I know Crystal Chronicles just came out. I haven't picked it up yet. I don't know if that's gotten a physical copy yet, or if that's coming later or what. So I have to look into that. But beyond that, I ended up picking up a couple Super Nintendo games. I got F-Zero. I had this years ago. I had gotten it complete sealed like 15 years ago, and ended up trading it in at some point. So I have it again. I'm definitely glad to have it because I do enjoy that. And I also picked up Super Mario All-Stars. Now this is the game pack that has Super Mario Brothers 1, 2, and 3, as well as the Lost Levels, which is the original Japanese version of Super Mario Brothers 2, which didn't initially make it to the West because it was too hard. All completely remade, retouched for 16-bit graphics instead of the original 8-bit that they were. So I don't know why I didn't already have this in my collection, but I'm definitely glad to have it now. And I think I have all of the Super Mario games for Super Nintendo now, because I have Super Mario World, Super Mario Kart, Super Mario RPG, and now this. I think the only thing I'm missing is there is also a Super Mario All-Stars and Super Mario World combo game pack. So I think I'm missing that. And then there's like various other Mario games as well that aren't like Super that I'm missing as well. But you guys already saw the Zapper. Of course, I had to pick up Duck Hunt. What is the use of having an NES Zapper without Duck Hunt? Eventually, I will get the Super Mario Brothers Duck Hunt combo pack, as well as the one that also has like World Track events. Eventually, I'll pick those up as well, but I just wanted Duck Hunt as a standalone for now, so definitely glad to add that to my collection. I also picked up Phantasy Star Online version 2. This is not the original release, this is version 2. Yeah, back in the day, when on consoles, you couldn't get like live patches and stuff for MMOs and so on. You had to actually buy a new physical version. And so this has like a lot of fixes, a lot of extra content compared to the version 1 that I already had. But I'm still probably going to hold off to play this until I can get my hands on the GameCube versions, episodes 1 and 2, and then episode 3 separate, because those I believe have even more content. But I have a weird personal attachment to Phantasy Star Online because years and years ago, back when Dreamcast was still newish, I learned about Phantasy Star Online through a game magazine, Electronic Gaming Monthly, I think it was, and it looked so cool. I really, really wanted to play it. Problem was, I didn't have a Dreamcast, and I didn't understand you needed one to play this game. See, I had seen this game at the local rental store, and I knew that it came on a disc. And to me, you know, having grown up playing PC games as well as console games, you know, my only console experience at the time were mostly just, you know, the Super Nintendo, the Genesis, which I had, and the N64. To me, a game on a disc meant it was for PC. So I begged and begged and begged my mom to let me rent the game so I could play it, not knowing that there was a subscription as well. And got it home, popped it into my computer, and it pulled up a website that showed you like all the different classes and so on, and basically almost let you do the character creation bit. And I could not for the life of me figure out how to play the game, and I was so upset. It wasn't until years later that, keep in mind, I was like 12 when this game came out, or 11 or 12 when this came out, and I wasn't a smart kid. But it wasn't until years later that I figured out, oh, you got to have a Dreamcast to play it. Now, this is a MMORPG. However, it's unique in the fact that it is an MMORPG that you can play single player offline. It's very rare to find those because usually they're so tied into server infrastructure and the multiplayer experience that it's very rare to find an MMO that you can play single player. Now, beyond that, speaking of single player MMOs, you also have these fake MMOs where it kind of simulates an MMO experience, but it's entirely a single player game. And the most well known of those is Dot Hack. I finally picked up Dot Hack Part 1 again. I had this years ago, tried it, couldn't get into it. I tried it a couple times, couldn't get into it at the time, and so I eventually traded it away. And I have Part 1 now, and it has both the game disc, you know, the game disc as well as the anime disc, Liminality. And I also picked up Dot Hack Part 2 Mutation, and it's the same thing here. It has an anime DVD as well as the actual game disc. And I love the fact that it says like 2 on here. Like it's clear, you know, it's clear from it saying Dot Hack Part 1, Dot Hack Part 2, you know, these are part of a series. You kind of need to play them in order. And even to the point that you put them together and there's an image that spans across the spines. Now, there's actually 2 more games. Part 3 is Mutation, Part 4 is Quarantine. It's going to probably be a while before I pick those up because they're a lot harder to find, and Quarantine especially is probably one of the most expensive PS2 games right now. I wouldn't be surprised to see that it is actually, last I heard, it was like the second most expensive at like close to $300, and that was before the pandemic. And prices have been jumping up crazy during the pandemic, so it's probably a lot higher now. I think the only one that was more expensive, last I heard, was Rule of Rose, which is a survival horror game. Beyond that, I also picked up Suikoden 3 and Suikoden 4. Now, from the PS2 games, I'm still missing 5 and Tactics, and then there was 0 on the DS, and then I'm also missing Suikoden 2. I had my eye on Suikoden 2 before the pandemic, not quite ready to hit the bullet, because it was a $175 to $200 game complete. Current price is around $385 to $400 for that game, so I'm kind of kicking myself now. I'm really hoping the prices drop again, like sometime next year, once people stop buying up all these retro games because of the pandemic. So I'm definitely glad to have these in my collection. It's going to be a while to play before I play them, because I do want to play them in order. And like I said, I don't have Suikoden 2. I haven't even started Suikoden 1, so it's going to be a while for these. Excuse me. Beyond that, I also finally picked up Burnout 2, and this is the developer's cut. I don't know if there's like a non-developer's cut version of it. The game disc and the manual just say Burnout 2. They don't say developer's cut or anything of that. So I don't know. It says Xbox exclusive high octane crashes. 21 exclusive custom car skins, worldwide online leaderboard. I don't know if there's supposed to be like a different disc that goes in here beyond just standard Burnout 2 or what, or if that's just like because of Xbox exclusive DLC or something. I don't know. It doesn't say DLC on here, so I don't know what's going on with that. I'll have to look into it. But I'm definitely glad to have this on here because I got into the Burnout franchise with Burnout 3, and I played 3, Revenge, and Paradise, and really enjoyed them. So I'm definitely looking forward to playing the older Burnout games. Beyond that, I only have a couple more games to talk about. I got Jurassic Park on the Genesis. This is one of the last remaining Genesis games I had as a kid that I didn't have now, and I just had the cartridge as a kid. The only other one I can really think of that I'm still missing is Warlock, which is kind of a Castlevania style game. And then I also picked up Altered Beast as well. And there were a number of other Genesis games I passed on because they either, well, mostly because they were in reproduction cases, which isn't really a problem to me so long as the reproduction artwork, if it has it, still looks decent. But they were missing the manuals, and I'm like, if it's not going to be the original case, I at least want to have the manual as well as the game. Anyways, that is it for this collection update. I shall see you guys next time. It's probably going to be a while. Maybe I'll do one in September, maybe October, I don't know. Might have to wait until November when the new systems come out, so we're expecting them in November at least. We actually still don't have dates and prices and so on for those. So anyways, until then, I shall see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Oh, I almost forgot. I am thinking of doing gaming streaming soon. I had been wanting to do Let's Plays again, but I can't quite get into it right now, and I don't know why. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to be streaming over on twitch.tv. You can find my URL down below. It's basically the same as here, Candle340. I don't have a set schedule, mostly because my work schedule changes every week, and we're still on pandemic hours, which means our store opens at 6 a.m. Monday through Friday for select groups, and when I work mornings, I am there at 5 a.m., which means I have to go to bed super early at night, and so it's still up in the air of when exactly I'll be able to stream, so there's like no set schedule as of yet. Just follow me on Twitter, Candle340, and I will let you know probably about an hour or two ahead of time when I'm going to stream on there. So that's it for now. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Please remember to comment, rate, and subscribe.